As you can see, it also works fairly well, despite being large, it works fairly well with very large plugs of dead skin. And I don't get very many cases at all of foreign bodies and marbles and other things like that. So now in this ear, we have a very similar appearance, very dense plug of dead skin, which is, suspiciously smooth and concave. So I wonder what could have possibly made it smooth and concave like that. But either way, olive oil. Now I have a lot more success with a standard steel suction probe, or Zollner suction probe, or Zoellner suction probe, whatever you want to call it. And what I'm doing here is lifting off the sides. And in fact, to be honest, doing this process first probably makes use of the Clearway suction handle a lot safer. So one of the things that I teach students, and one of the things that I think most people know when they're doing microsuction, is that if somebody has a healed perforation, and that's within, the last few months, if they've had any kind of eardrum perforation, suction can be incredibly dangerous. And the reason is that when you have a plug like this and you're pulling on it, because there's an air pocket, a tiny air pocket between the eardrum and the plug, excuse me, when you're pulling on that plug, that's going to create a little bit of pull on the eardrum. And if you have a perforation which is just about healed, then there's a chance that you could pull on that little area of weakness and reopen the perforation. So, I mean, this person didn't say anything like that at all. They've never had a perforation in their life. But just to explain the principle of opening up the canal first and creating these little gaps where air can flow through, I think that's probably a lot safer and more comfortable for the patient before you use the Clearway. But either way, as you can see, I've had a lot more success here with this dead skin plug. And by the way, the patient, although they didn't mention eardrum perforation, they did mention ear infections, very recent ear infections a couple of months ago in both ears. So I rather suspect that there is a relationship there. And as I've mentioned in other videos, there is a very clear relationship between otitis externa and lots of desquamation or dead skin shedding into the ear canal. Now, at this point, a lot of faffing ensues here because this plug is a very awkward shape and a lot larger than the aperture of the ear canal, which is often the case, actually, I find. So, a lot of wiggling around ensues, and I eventually reach for a Cawthorn hook, thinking that would save the day. But again, I'm going to have to use the Clearway suction here. So again, we just have, at this point, I'm thinking, right, I'll go in with a Cawthorn hook. This plug is probably very dense and very hard, and I'll just drag it out like a hero and save the day. But actually, I end up shooting myself in the foot because the plug is not as well formed as I thought, and I end up just creating a bit of a mess here and shooting myself in the foot. So here, it sort of looks like the strategy is working. But and I do drag it forwards a little bit, but it's just stuck. It's just completely stuck there, and the Cawthorn hook just kind of drags, smushes through the plug, just like it would if it was really soft wax. So it's very crumbly, as you can see. So one last attempt with the steel Zollner probe, but again, it is well and truly stuck there. I probably could have used a Jobson horn here to drag it out. But at this point, I thought, well, I've already used the Clearway once. It's the same patient, so I might as well use it again. And at this point, I really didn't want to faff around too long. So olive oil as a last-ditch attempt to lubricate the ear canal here. And you can see the center of the plug is actually very dense, and then the outside of it is sort of enveloped in this kind of pearly white matrix. Again, that's a very clear sign of desquamation. So in again with the Clearway. When I clamp down on the hole, that will increase the power, and now I can just drag it out. So, and there we have it. So, lost a little bit of suction there. And now I can finally end the procedure and just drag it out in one. So, a fairly effective